तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
श्री गणेश श्री गणेश श्री गणेश पाहि मां। 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 जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष 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 मां। श्री गणेश पाहि मां। जय गणेश रक्ष मां। 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 जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां। श्री गणेश श्री गणेश श्री गणेश पाहि मां। श्री गणेश श्री गणेश श्री गणेश पाहि मां। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां। श्री गणेश पाहि मां। जय गणेश रक्ष मां। गणेश पाहि मां। जय गणेश रक्ष मां। जय गणेश जय गणेश 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 जय गणेश रक्ष मां। श्री गणेश श्री गणेश श्री गणेश पाहि मां।
श्री गुरु प्रतिवासा।
श्री गुरु प्रतिवासा।
श्री गुरु प्रतिवासा।
श्री गुरु प्रतिवासा।
साई ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेशा।
साई ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेशा।
साई ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेशा।
साई ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेशा।
श्री गुरु प्रतिवासा।
श्री गुरु प्रतिवासा।
अल्लाह भी तुम हो, मौला भी तुम हो।
अल्लाह भी तुम हो, मौला भी तुम हो।
अल्लाह भी तुम हो, मौला कृष्ण करीम हो।
राम रहीम हो कृष्ण करीम हो।
श्री गुरु पतिवासा,
श्री गुरु पतिवासा।
साई ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेशा,
साई ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेशा।
श्री गुरु पतिवासा,
श्री गुरु पतिवासा।
अल्लाह भी तुम हो, मौला भी तुम हो,
अल्लाह भी तुम हो, मौला भी तुम हो।
सौराष्ट्र महावीर यीशु भी तुम हो,
सौराष्ट्र महावीर यीशु भी तुम हो।
राम रहीम हो कृष्ण करीम 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 हो।
श्री गुरु पतिवासा।
दुर्गा भवानी माँ, काली कपालिनी माँ। 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 जगदोधारिणी माँ, जगदोधारिणी माँ। जगदोधारिणी माँ, जगदोधारिणी माँ। सत्य साई दया करु माँ, सत्य साई दया करु माँ। सत्य साई कृपा करु माँ, सत्य साई कृपा करु माँ। देवी साई माँ, देवी सरस्वती माँ। देवी साई माँ, देवी सरस्वती माँ। दुर्गा भवानी माँ, काली कृपालिनी माँ। दुर्गा भवानी माँ, कृपा करो माँ। देवी साई माँ, देवी सरस्वती माँ।
माता माता साई माता,
माता साई माता,
माता माता साई माता,
माता साई माता,
जगत माता साई विश्व माता,
माता साई विश्व माता,
जगत माता साई विश्व माता,
माता साई विश्व माता,
माता माता साई माता,
माता साई माता,
दुर्गा भवानी काली कपालिनी,
भवानी काली कपालिनी,
दुर्गा भवानी काली कपालिनी,
भवानी काली कपालिनी,
शान्तिदायिनी साई माता,
शान्तिदायिनी साई माता,
शान्तिदायिनी साई माता,
शान्तिदायिनी साई माता,
माता माता साई माता,
माता साई माता,
जगत माता साई विश्व माता,
जगत माता साई विश्व माता,
माता माता साई माता,
माता साई माता,
दुर्गा भवानी काली कपालिनी,
भवानी काली कपालिनी,
शान्तिदायिनी साई माता,
शान्तिदायिनी साई माता,
शान्तिदायिनी साई माता,
शान्तिदायिनी साई माता,
माता माता साई माता।
साई तेरे चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम।
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 शरण में ले लो साई प्रभो।
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 साई तेरे चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम।
साई तेरे चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम।
तुम हो मेरे माता पिता साई।
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 तुम हो मेरे बंधु सखा।
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 तुम हो मेरे सब कुछ साई।
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 दीजो हमको शरण तुम्हारी।
जो हमको शरण तुम्हारी।
दीजो हमको शरण तुम्हारी।
जो हमको शरण तुम्हारी।
साई तेरे चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम।
साई तेरे चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम।
शरण में ले लो साई प्रभो।
शरण में ले लो साई प्रभो।
साई तेरे चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम।
साई तेरे चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम।
तुम हो मेरे माता पिता साई।
तुम हो मेरे माता पिता साई।
तुम हो मेरे बंधु सखा।
तुम हो मेरे बंधु सखा।
तुम हो मेरे सब कुछ साई।
तुम हो मेरे सब कुछ साई।
दीजो हमको शरण तुम्हारी।
जो हमको शरण तुम्हारी।
दीजो हमको शरण तुम्हारी।
जो हमको शरण तुम्हारी।
साई तेरे चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम। श्रीनिवास वेङ्कटेश श्रीनिवास वेङ्कटेश श्रितजन परिपाला साईशा श्रितजन परिपाला साईशा श्रीनिवास वेङ्कटेश तिरुमलगिरिवासा गोविन्द तिरुमलगिरिवासा गोविन्द गरुड वाहन गोविन्द गोविन्द गरुड वाहन गोविन्द 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 श्रीनिवास गोविन्द 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 शिरडीवास गोविन्द 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 पतिवास गोविन्द 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 पतिवास गोविन्द श्रीनिवास वेङ्कटेश श्रितजन परिपाला साईशा श्रीनिवास वेङ्कटेश तिरुमलगिरिवासा गोविन्द गरुड वाहन गोविन्द 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 श्रीनिवास गोविन्द 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 शिरडीवास गोविन्द 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 पतिवास गोविन्द 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 श्रीनिवास गोविन्द 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 शिरडीवास गोविन्द 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 पतिवास गोविन्द 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 पतिवास गोविन्द श्रीनिवास वेङ्कटेश
प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंता आंजनेया हनुमंता 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 आंजनेया हनुमंता 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 आंजनेया हे पवन पुत्र हनुमंता भर भीमा आंजनेया हे पवन
पुत्र हनुमन्ता बलभीमा आञ्जनेया बलभीमा 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 आञ्जनेया बलभीमा 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 आञ्जनेया प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंता आंजनेया हनुमंता 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 आंजनेया हे पवन पुत्र हनुमंता बलभीमा आंजनेया बलभीमा 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 आंजनेया बलभीमा 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 आंजनेया प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंता आंजनेया
ॐ शिवाय 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 शम्भो शङ्कर ॐ शिवाय शम्भो शङ्कर ॐ शिवाय शम्भो शङ्कर ॐ शिवाय शम्भो शङ्कर ॐ शिवाय ॐ शिवाय ॐ शिवाय ॐ शिवाय ॐ शिवाय शम्भो शङ्कर 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 ॐ शिवाय 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 शम्भो शङ्कर ॐ शिवाय शम्भो शङ्कर ॐ शिवाय शम्भो शङ्कर ॐ शिवाय
You can see on the screen the first tip to reduce our stress. Swami says, fill your hearts with the conviction that whatever happens is for your good. Consider everything as prasadam. God knows what is good for you, even as a loving mother knows what a child needs.
Wow. And let's have this the second quote of Bhagwan himself. We all have heard these, probably some of the more famous words of Bhagwan.
Yes.
Life is a challenge, meet it. Life is a game, play it. And I'm able to simply look at the problem plus the solution and focus on the solution.
Yes.
Automatically our stress is gone.
Stress is gone. You can see on the screen the third tip, which is basically Swami is telling that good and bad lie in your drishti, not in the srishti. So whatever is happening, it all depends on our vision, our outlook, our approach. So moving on to the fourth tip.
The fourth tip is, once again, let us have Bhagwan, and why Swami says, soul force can accomplish all the tasks of the world. So what is the soul force that Swami is talking about? You see, in our lives, I am sure that everyone out there, we have that one moment or that one event or that one person whom we can call as the anchor of our lives. This starts from today. And one of the things that you can do is about food, regulation of food. And Swami, at length in most of the Vahinis and most of the discourses, he keeps talking over and over again about the usefulness of sattvic food.
You can see on the screen Bhagwan's quote on food.
Swami says, food is the chief formative force. Moral conduct, good habit, spiritual effort, all depends upon the quality of food. Disease, mental weakness, spiritual slackness, all are produced by faulty food. Imagine Swami is saying this, food is the chief formative force. That is the...
So the second secret ingredient is to have good company. Again, this is a huge topic by itself, but we'll just want you to look at the screen for what Bhagwan talks about ABC of life, avoid bad company.
So, and then suddenly, Swami stops and says, but holding my hand is not important. Yearning to hold my hand is more important. How incredible is the statement? Holding my hand is not important. Yearning to hold my hand is important. Just let us contemplate on this for a minute and just see. Mirabai never held Bhagwan's hand. Tyagaraja never held Bhagwan's hand. Tulsidas never held. Tukaram never held. But they all yearned to hold Bhagwan's hand. Right? And therefore, they were eligible for the ultimate. So, yearning is in fact more important than even actually doing it. No, in fact, in Dhyana Vahini, Swami goes on to say that yearning is endeavor. A strong yearning actually gets transformed. So, this is one very, very important secret ingredient for successful sadhana.
Absolutely. In fact, there is a letter that Bhagwan has written answering spiritual hunger. You can see it on the screen. And in his beautiful handwriting, Bhagwan has answered this question of spiritual hunger. Swami says...
in fact, it's such a beautiful letter. Swami says, have you got any spiritual hunger? And this is something that is written in 1973. He just says that he explains the meaning of spiritual hunger. Maybe, the script over there is very, very small. But Swami says that spiritual hunger is the ultimate meaning of every activity in life. So we probably will make this available to most of you, and you will be able to go through what does Swami himself talk about spiritual hunger.
So those are some of the secret ingredients that we could gather from Dhyana Vahini that anyone should adhere to if they want to progress on the path of dhyana. Let's now come to the other aspect of dhyana, wherein Bhagwan talks about 3 stages. And Swami says the first stage is uha, imagination. You can see on the screen. The second stage is bhava, experiencing the form. And the final stage is sakshatkara, seeing it as a reality. I'm reminded of this very beautiful anecdote. One brother who was serving Bhagwan at close quarters, so in the evening he used to sleep in Bhagwan's room downstairs, and Bhagwan would get all these different gifts. One of the CDs was spiritual visualization, and that attracted his attention. So he took that CD and he heard, and there was a beautiful commentary wherein the voice said, imagine you are sitting in this beautiful lawn, there is absolute greenery around, there is a stream flowing, and it is so serene, lovely meadows, and then you see the chariot coming from the sky. Your most favorite form of God is coming, and the boy imagined Swami, because for him Swami is everything. Swami is coming down, and Swami is getting down the chariot, and Swami is calling you, and Swami is holding your hand tight, and Swami is lifting you and taking you back to the heavens, and he's showing you such a beautiful panorama of the world. So when he heard that and he imagined, and the thought that stayed in his mind is, I have to hold Swami's hand. I have to hold Swami's hand. He slept with that thought. Next morning, when Bhagwan emerged for darshan, so he used to walk with Swami. So as Swami was getting into the golf cart, this was 2003, 2004, Swami used to always take a little help of one more brother when he used to get into the golf cart. That day, Swami stopped and Swami called him, this brother. He said, you come. And he was surprised because that was not his duty. But Swami took his hand, Swami held it tight and gave a beautiful smile. And that day, evening session also, Swami held his hand and confirming him that you visualized this, you visualized me holding your hand. See, I am making it a reality for you. Next day, it was back to the other brother. But what we are trying to say is, in dhyana, this whole process of visualization is so important, isn't it, Amit?
Absolutely. In fact, Swami mentions 3 other words. In a lot of summer course discourses, you would have heard this. He says, just like we said, uha, bhava and sakshatkara, there are other 3 set of words Swami says is jnatum, drashtum and praveshtum. And they very, very simply it means jnatum is to know, drashtum is to visualize, and praveshtum is to merge or become. So I would like to take the example of one of the heroes of Ramayana. For me, she is an absolute role model for every person on sadhana, and that is Mother Shabri. Mother Shabri was told by her guru, we all know her story, that Lord Rama is going to come. Now just imagine, we know Mother Shabri is in Kerala and Lord Rama is up in the north in Ayodhya, and she simply had faith in that, and every single day for the next decade, a couple of decades, every single day she would clean up all the roads that walked up to her hermitage. She put flowers, we all know the story. She did not give up for one single day. Right? Everybody made fun of her, saying that, oh my God, why will Rama come over here? And eventually one day he did come. So she knew that Rama is going to come. She visualized him coming, and if he comes, he will be hungry, etc., etc. So that was the drashtum part of it. And eventually one day Rama comes, and after that it is only mergence, which is praveshtum. So that is the importance of visualization.
Absolutely. And when we are talking about these stages of dhyana, imagination, experience, and finally experiencing the reality, Bhagwan in Dhyana Vahini and in many discourses lays emphasis on the sadhana of Jyoti meditation or the Jyoti Dhyana, light meditation. And Bhagwan goes in detail explaining why meditating on a flame is so paramount.
Yes, in fact, this is a meditation that Swami recommends. He says amongst all the kinds of meditation, Swami recommends the Jyoti Dhyana. And so what we will try to do is, let us get a little understanding of what is Jyoti meditation, and then eventually we will actually do the Jyoti meditation through beautiful ways that which is lined up for you. So first of all, understanding why Jyoti. If you look at the Jyoti, the centerpiece of the Jyoti meditation is a flame, which is fire. So what does fire do? Fire has 4 basic characteristics. One is its ability to purify. Anything that is put into fire only gets purified. Secondly, it is always, it's full. You will never find a half fire, right? You will never find a half flame. It's always full. And thirdly, it is inexhaustible. One small flame can light up 1,000,000 different flames, and it is always pure, right? So those are the 4 characteristics. And if you notice in our Sanatana Dharma, flame is something that is used for all functions, I would say, from womb to tomb. From Namakaranam, from the day we are named, right up to our funeral, fire has always been...
It is the witness of everything that happens in our life. And the other beautiful thing about fire is, it is the medium, it is the carrier of our prayers. When we do yagnam, we chant the mantras, because through the fire, they reach the devatas. So fire is such a sacred, most pure medium.
Yes.
to concentrate upon.
And therefore, Swami has given us that as a medium for our meditation.
Absolutely. So let's listen to this little clip of Bhagwan where Swami himself says how to do Jyoti meditation, and after that we'll spend little more time understanding what Bhagwan mentions.
మొట్టమొదట మనం కూర్చొని ఈ మంకీ మైండ్ ను ఒక వాచ్మాన్ పని ఇవ్వాలి, ఇక్కడ పెట్టాలి.
So we must sit in dhyana and we must give the duty of a watchman to the monkey, namely the mind.
ఎవరు లోపల పోతున్నారు, ఎవరు బయట వస్తున్నారు. సో లోపల పోతున్నాడు, హమ్ బయట వస్తున్నాడు. కనుక పోయేటువంటి వాడు సో, వచ్చేటువంటి వాడు హమ్.
If we entrust the duty of a watchman to the mind, and this monkey sits there at the tip of the nose and goes on watching, the breath that goes in is so, and the breath that comes out is hum. This process goes on, so hum, and the monkey is kept busy watching this coming in and going out.
ఈ విధంగా చేసిన తర్వాత 5 నిమిషాలు అయిన తర్వాత నీకు ప్రీతి అయినటువంటి ఒక చిత్రాన్ని నీవు ముందు పెట్టుకో.
After keeping the mind busy for 5 minutes like this, have a picture which is dear to your heart.
లేక ఒక జ్యోతిని నీవు ఎదురుగా పెట్టుకో.
Or have a flame in front of you.
ఆ జ్యోతిని నీవు కన్నులు తెరిచి చక్కగా చూడు.
Look at that flame with your eyes wide open.
ఏ యొక్క జ్యోతిని నీవు బహిర్ముఖమైనటువంటి జగత్తులో నువ్వు చూస్తువో దానిని క్రమక్రమేణా కన్నులు మూసుకొని ఆ జ్యోతి నీలో ప్రవేశించినట్టుగా ఇమేజ్ చేయి.
Imagine that flame which you have beheld with your eyes wide open. After closing the eyes, you imagine that that flame is kindled within you.
కేవలము అక్కడ కూడా నువ్వు మనస్సుకు ఒక తీవ్రమైన పని పెట్టాలి.
There also the mind must be given a busy activity. We must make the mind bring that flame and deposit that flame within the recesses of our heart.
అక్కడ హృదయ కమలం లోపల జ్యోతి వెలుగుతున్నట్టుగా చింతించాలి.
In the lotus of the heart, we must imagine that this flame is ablaze.
కనుక నీ యొక్క జ్యోతి నీ కన్నుల్లో పోయి చేరినట్టు కనుక బ్యాడ్ దృష్టి ఉండకూడదు. ఎందుకంటే తమసోమా జ్యోతిర్గమయ, ఎక్కడ జ్యోతి ఉంటుంటారో అక్కడ చీకటి ఉండదు.
Because the flame is burning bright in the eyes, there should be no darkness. Therefore, you should not look at bad objects. Because the flame has joined your ears, you should not hear anything that is
ఆ
bad.
జ్యోతి నీ యొక్క నాలుక పైన రావడం చేత అక్కడ చెడ్డ మాటలు మాట్లాడడానికి అవకాశం ఉండదు.
Because the flame is burning bright on your tongue, there is no scope to utter
నీ
bad words.
పాదముల్లో ఈ జ్యోతి చేరటం వల్ల చెడ్డ ప్రదేశానికి ఇది ప్రయాణం చేయడానికి ఏమాత్రం అంగీకరించదు.
Because this flame is bright in your limbs, your feet should not go to bad places. Because the flame is there in the arms, your hands do not undertake any bad work.
కనుక ఈ ఏక జ్యోతిని అనేక విధములైనటువంటి యొక్క ప్రయాణములు సలిపి సర్వత్రా ఉన్నటువంటి యొక్క పరమాత్మ జ్యోతి, పరబ్రహ్మ జ్యోతి ఒక్కటే అనేటువంటి యొక్క సత్యాన్ని మనము గుర్తించుకోవటంలో ఈ ధ్యానం అనేటువంటిది ఎంతైనా మనకు సహాయకారిగా ఉంటుంది.
Then you must realize that this same flame is burning bright in your neighbors, in the people of your locality, in your friends and relations. At a later stage, you must prove that you are able to realize that this flame is burning bright even in your enemies.
But you heard Bhagwan narrating how you should take the Jyoti to different limbs of the body. And Swami, in conversations with Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, which is documented by Dr. John Hislop, Swami says the sequence is not that important. You know, what is important is every limb of the body being purified. So we need not go into the nitty-gritty of, oh, should I take the Jyoti, after I've taken to the heart, should I take it here, should I take it to the legs? That is not so important. What is important is the spirit. If you see the screen, this quote of Bhagwan on Jyoti meditation, Swami is emphasizing on why we should use the light, and also the important factor is we should not look at it as a ritual. We should go to the spirit of meditation. Swami is telling it is advisable that Jyoti is taken as the object of meditation. Jyoti does not perish or change. A flame can kindle a million others without getting extinguished and is therefore inexhaustible. In fact,
we cannot overemphasize, the need to go back to understanding, because a lot of questions have also come. For example, when should we do? And Swami often says, yes, you should do it in Brahma Muhurtam time, because that's the best time to do. So, last time we had mentioned that from 4 to 8. So Swami has obviously, we don't have a reference to Swami saying that we can do it before 8 o'clock. But when Swami says that 4 to 8 is a sattvic time, I think that is the time when we can do any kind of prayers or japa or dhyana for that matter.
Preferably you can do it before 6. Brahma Muhurtam is 3 to 6.
Yes, 3 to 6. Why? Because the sun rises. And so what is more important, and let's really go back and keep focusing on that, which is the spirit behind the ritual. Only then it becomes spiritual. Otherwise it will be reduced to simply becoming a ritual. So there are so many things like duration. How long should I do it? Bhagwan talks about half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening.
There are 3 stages in Jyoti meditation. Bhagwan talks about concentration, contemplation and meditation.
Yes.
So Swami says when you are concentrating on a flame going into various parts of the body, so what is happening is you are thinking your focus is constantly on the flame. But that is not the objective, Swami says. The objective is your mind is so occupied, so concentrated in that action that you slowly forget the body. And that is what is most important.
Yes.
Swami says if you have correct concentration, that will lead you to contemplation.
Yes. And in fact, this Abhiruchi that we were talking about, Swami says from Abhiruchi it goes to Avadhanamu, which is concentration. So once we have interest in something, we automatically get concentration. And from concentration, from Avadhanamu, it goes to Ekagrata, which is one-pointedness. And that is what is very important. In fact, this Jyoti meditation, it has all the aspects of meditation, which is being here and now through Soham, which is the beginning, and also visualization. So both the techniques are being beautifully combined over here in this through this Jyoti meditation, which is possibly the easiest, the surest,
safest,
and the safest. Yes.
And that is the stage where you don't know that you are meditating.
Yes.
Because meditation is above the senses. Concentration is below the senses. The midway is contemplation. So that is the journey. Concentration so deep that you move on to contemplation. Contemplation so intense that you are in meditation. And in that stage, the dhyata, the dheya and the dhyana, the person who meditates, the
object of meditation and the process of meditation,
everything becomes one. I think that is the goal, the beautiful goal of Jyoti Dhyana.
And just be consistent. That Swami is what Swami expects us, which is consistency and intensity.
Absolutely.
Consistently intense and intensely consistent.
Yes, absolutely. So, dear viewers, we want to help how we can move on to this path of Jyoti meditation.
And that is how we have completed this journey, creating a prashanti in each one of our lives. From prashanti, Swami says, we go to prakanti, which is effulgence. And from prakanti, the ultimate, which is param jyoti, where there is no difference between my Swami and I. We are just one, and that is the bliss. For that very reason, the avatar comes again and again to tell us that you and I are one.
Absolutely. So that prakanti is that effulgence, prashanti is the peace within. But when that peace reaches out and envelopes everyone, that is what we experience in Jyoti meditation. So we move to a stage where we feel that the light that is within me is not different from the light of the universe. And once that feeling deepens, then eventually we become one with that light. We become the light. That is the stage of Param Jyoti. Om Tat Sat Shri Narayana
उद्धतो स्कन्दविनायक सविता पावततु ब्रह्ममर्दतो यत्वशक्तितो येषु पिता प्रभुतो रुद्रविष्णुतो रामकृष्णतो रहीमतावतु वासुदेवतो विश्वरूपतो चिदानन्दहरितो अद्वितीयतो अकालनिर्भय आत्मलिङ्ग शिवतो आत्मलिङ्ग शिवतो आत्मलिङ्ग शिवतो स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वर ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्व प्राणपते स्वामी सर्व प्राणपते आश्रितकल्पलतीका आश्रितकल्पलतीका आवद्बान्धव ॐ जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता गुरुदैवं मरियं त्रयुनीवे स्वामी मरियं त्रयुनीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्र शयना ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकाररूप ओजस्विव साई महादेव सत्य साई महादेव मंगलहारति अंगुकं मंगलहारति अंगुकं मंगलगिरिधारी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु।
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सती साई महाराज की
समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो